the NFL Experience. Oh, we have a crowd there. Now, after the Patriots won Super Bowl 51 just last year, they expanded their ring collection and also their families. I guess you could say they weren't just celebrating, they were procreating. Andrea Kramer, wow, she got an inside glimpse of the Patriots play group and talked all things football, of course, and fatherhood. Take a look. I'm interested in this. You guys? Yeah.
The New England Patriots come out of their locker room, and let's take a look at their starters.
Giselle Sienna Gilmore, March 10th, 2017.
London Brielle McCourty, March 11th, 2017.
Excel Masai Bolden, March 11th, 2017.
Parker K. Hogan, Chase James Hogan, March 21st, 2017.
William Robert Devlin, March 30th, 2017.
Charlie Grace Solder, April 2nd, 2017.
Last spring, there was a baby boom when 6 Patriots players had 7 babies born within just a few weeks of each other. Their stats? 5 girls, 2 first-time dads, and 1 set of twins. When you're pregnant, they use a calculator and they find out the due date. So you can go the other way, too. What was going on last summer?
I just got married, so we did what married folks do.
Okay, all right, that's good. So what was it like in the delivery room?
Well, we didn't know the sex. So you're so excited because you have your child, right? And so they say, what's the sex? And I go to Lex, like, oh, how do I tell?
Anybody want to fill him in on how he'll know?
I was clutching mine. We had.
You were clutch?
Yeah, I was clutch. I ended up being in the mix almost as like the nurses. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was clutch. Like they couldn't have done it without me. Put it that way. They couldn't have done it without.
Now, as dads, what's that dynamic like in the locker room for you guys?
There's nothing we can't talk about. This is normal. It's just in the locker room. It's just more spread out. We're not at one table.
Any good daddy confessionals? How you are when you're alone with the kid or the kids?
There's been some rough ones when they're unhappy, or you're trying to feed them both at the same time, and one wants to take the bottle, the other one doesn't want to take the bottle. It's just
He's reliving it.
Well, let's go find the babies. If you have to give a scouting report on your husband as a father, what would it be?
Great with the double team. Goes a very long way. Not so good at night, though.
I try to do whatever she does. Right?
What do you think really goes on when you're not around?
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's a pretty girl.
It's okay to leave the babies with them. They can manage.
She's alive when I get home, and she's happy, so that's all that matters.
Honestly, I think I trust Nate with our kids more than myself sometimes. He's the best dad you could ask for.
So, oh boy, that's nice. Perfect timing.
All those Patriot dads. Great job by Andrea Kramer there. Shout out to Devin McCourty. Loved that piece. And from those dads to 3 of my favorites. Let's switch gears here to what's going on at the NFL Experience. Our next guest has proven that positives can come from some heartbreaking circumstances and losses, that football truly is more than a game. I'd like to welcome in Saints punter Thomas Morstead today. Yeah! And I'm just going to read you a tweet that I just saw. Best guest right now is coming from Troy, the Vikings fan,
Cool.
saying, best guest right now, Thomas Moore said, how do you punt with broken ribs? I bruised my ribs driving for a ball, and I couldn't breathe, cough, laugh, or sneeze. I cannot imagine trying to punt. I know the season did not end like you wanted it to.
Yeah.
Take me through how you even played the rest of that game.
Well, just to clear it up, doesn't sound as cool, but I didn't actually break my ribs. I tore all the cartilage, but all those
Doesn't
symptoms.
sound good.
No, it wasn't.
I'm not Dr. Oz,
I did
but
the exact same thing, so it is painful. Don't
It
downplay
is.
it.
But look, I think a lot of times being a specialist, you don't get put in that situation where you can kind of like get it out for the team, and so I was kind of honored to be able to do it. And I gained a lot of respect from my other teammates that have gone through things like that this year, and it was tough playing with it. Once they gave me that shot right in the ribs, about 20 minutes later, I felt okay. But I just knew, hey, look, there's nobody else that's going to punt, so I got to go do it. It's going to hurt either way, whether it's good or bad, so I better lock in and make it good.
Now, speaking of gutting it out and hurting, it wasn't just physical, it was emotional. After that game-winning touchdown by Stephon Diggs, you were just one of a handful of players that walked back out on the field because by rule, you guys had to go line up.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind after having that excruciating loss, understanding that the hopes of the season going to the Super Bowl are dashed in a moment?
I think it's difficult, and, I wasn't trying to, separate myself from the team or do anything different. I was one of the last guys in the locker room. Some guys had already pulled all their pads off, and so I just went out. They needed guys to do it, and it was pretty crazy. They were doing the skull chant, and the game was over, and it was an experience to say the least.
Honorable though.
But then what happened after the game? You're wearing the shirt, What You Give Will Grow. That is a cause that you're working for that Vikings fans contributed to?
Yeah, so somebody started a post on Reddit up here in Minnesota and just said, hey, they were inspired by me playing through the pain and inspired by kind of, I guess, my sportsmanship and coming out for the last play. And I think the third factor is they won. Good karma. So they just said, hey, Thomas has got a great foundation down in New Orleans, and if you guys feel up for it, you can donate to his charity. And once I acknowledged it on social media the next day and said, hey, we'll pay all the funds back, we'll find a way to give it back to Minnesota, I think that kind of really got the ball rolling. And then once
Where are we at now?
We actually stopped it. We raised so much money for the hospital. They said, hey, we can't possibly use all this on Child Life. Let's direct some of it back to Louisiana now. So we stopped at $221,000.
Wow!
And so now we're doing that for Louisiana, and we're up to about $120,000 for Louisiana hospitals. So it's been great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we're out here on the field.
Yes.
Okay. And we respect what I think is sort of a lost art, something you're very good at.
Okay.
The onside kick. The onside kick is truly one of the most exciting plays because there's so much at stake, but it's so hard to do.
Sure.
I'm picturing guys like Kevin Butler and Fuad Reveiz back in the day. I don't think they do it that way anymore. You still do. So what we thought we would do is attempt the onside kick, the lost art, and maybe you could coach us up and judge us as we do it. You guys down?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we have some fielders.
Okay, so first of all,
You guys get out there.
Why did we pick the Kyle Brandt and Peter Schrager big head?
Because we got no hands. I mean, come on, of course, Nate.
But, I gotta ask you. So when you're getting up ready for the onside kick and you're pointing out your guy, how do you know who you're gonna kick it to? Is it like Waterboy?
It can be a little bit, right? They say, hey, if somebody's not looking like they're super confident.
Okay,
you
so
may
out of those
attack
two
them.
faces, who do you think
which
is?
one do you
I'm
want
gonna
to
let
go
you
to?
make the call. You're the real athlete here, so I'll let you make the call.
That guy on the left is looking shaky, man.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so how do we do it? Would you like to go first?
Well, so there's two ways to think about it. Number one, is it an obvious surprise?
Yes. No, they know it's coming.
know it's
If
coming.
This
They know
is
it's
one of
coming.
those no surprise.
So, look, at the end of the day, the odds are with the fielding team. So I'm always about creating something that they can't plan for.
Right.
Which is a low ball that stays down. The high hop is so hard to field percentage-wise.
Sure.
I think it's like 5% recovery by the kicking team. So I just have an end-over-end ball, and you just want to hit it right at, you want to try and get it about that 9-yard gray area to where the front guys that are supposed to be blocking, they have to make a decision. And so we actually have scouting that'll tell us, all right, this guy doesn't have great awareness, and this guy does. And so we'll kind of pick a guy, and especially if they're leaving early, sometimes we can do things like that, too.
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys the importance of documenting this kind of stuff.
All right,
let's
ready?
what you do it.
All right, here we go. So I don't have any
Schrager's teeth out. Go
I'm
ahead.
the guy with
All right,
smug
here we,
look on my
and
face.
the goal is to keep it slow to where your guys have time to get
Great.
there. So here you go.
Oh, that was beautiful. Peter, get it!
Hey, let me tell you, that's how you get a a game ball right there.
Look at what happened to Peter.
Come on, man.
He's done. I think
Hey.
it's better. Oh, that was such a beautiful kick.
There it is right there.
Wildest thing
Say hi
I've
to your
seen in
son,
a while.
Peter. Hi, Mel. I love you.
Anybody want to see JJ
Hey, that's how you
Watt?
get a game ball right there. That's how you get a game
He'll be
ball.
right back on Good Morning Football with JJ Watt, up for Walter Payton Man of the Year. We'll talk all things JJ after this. Roger Staubach also joining the show. We've got Greg Olsen, every star you want to see right here at the NFL Experience, live in Minneapolis.
Right there. Appreciate it.
Look at Peter's beautiful hair.
How did that happen?
That was awesome.